Hey there, welcome into this edition of Bills Take 2. I'm Jonathan Acosta, joined here by our WGRZ Bills NFL insider, Vic Carucci. We're taking a look ahead to this Sunday's game against the Tennessee Titans for the Buffalo Bills. Vic, the Bills finally home for the first time in what feels like forever, and the home crowd not just getting to see the Bills back in Orchard Park, but they get to see a new star wide receiver, Amari Cooper. Sean McDermott in his Friday press conference saying that he thinks Cooper will be good to go. I think all of us certainly building up this week, anticipating that the Bills' new wide receiver one would be suiting up for his Bills debut against the Titans.
Yeah, this really, to me, is what makes this game compelling. I'm not sure the game itself would be all that compelling without the Amari Cooper factor. And I think the idea of putting him out there right away is a good one because, first of all, you only have this guy under contract for 11 regular season games, possibly more if they make the playoffs and however long that goes for the Bills. But you also, so you need to know what you have and get a first indication of that. The other thing is that Amari Cooper has a reputation for being a quick study, a guy who can get up to speed very fast. And look, that is something he has had to do. This is the third time he's been traded in his 10-year NFL career. So the guy knows something about trying to cram for the test that is that first game in a new uniform.
Obviously the short week for the Bills, with them playing on Monday night and now playing on Sunday, Cooper joining midweek, that's a tough turnaround. If he does play, what's maybe a sort of reasonable expectation for Cooper's first game with the Bills?
Yeah, one of the things I liked that Amari Cooper told reporters this week was when you come right down to it, the bottom line is that it's football. And I think that says it all in the sense that you're playing the game that he's played now for, again, 10 pro seasons. So he knows a whole lot about the variety of coverages he'll see, all the things he needs to do to get open. And I would say that the Bills are going to immediately put him in a position that they don't have on this team otherwise, which is someone who can make those run those deep routes, make those big plays, those game-changing types of plays. I'm not saying it's going to happen a ton, but I suspect that Joe Brady's game plan is going to include those opportunities, especially early on, where Josh Allen can take those shots that, frankly, we haven't seen him take on any consistent basis because he doesn't have that big play target, or he hasn't had it. I think Amari Cooper can change that. I'm not trying to say that he'll be Mr. Dynamite right off the bat, but I think we will notice his presence.
One more thing on Cooper before we move on. Talking with Keon Coleman this week, Keon Coleman has a great personality. The way he put it was that it's like adding someone else with money to your household that helps you pay for everything, helps everyone out. Just maybe even if Cooper himself doesn't have a huge game stats-wise, what kind of impact can he have for the rest of this Bills receiving core that has been sort of under fire these last couple weeks?
Yeah, Jonathan, that to me is as big a factor as anything, that he can help open things up for others because he is going to undoubtedly draw extra attention in coverage until he proves otherwise. But I would expect that to happen. And, I think the other thing to look at here is, yes, he was part of the problem in Cleveland, a 1-5 team. He didn't do a whole lot there, caught only 24 balls in those first 6 games, had a couple of touchdowns, but wasn't the dynamic player he was in 2023 with the Browns. But I think a lot of that has to do with the struggles of the Browns quarterback, Deshaun Watson. With Josh Allen, Josh is salivating at the thought of having another member of that arsenal that can help open things up for other players he may throw to that aren't named Amari Cooper. So Keon Coleman's one of them. Khalil Shakir. Go down the list. Mac Hollins. There are going to be opportunities that these players haven't necessarily seen through these past 6 games with Cooper now here.
You talk about Josh Allen being excited to throw the ball to Amari Cooper. Someone else that I'm sure he's going to be excited to throw the ball to is James Cook, the star running back this week for the Bills. No injury designation. Cook is back. Ed Oliver is back for this Bills defense. Vic, it seems like this Bills team overall is finally starting to get as close to full health as they have been since week 1.
I think this is a major, major factor in their chances for longer-term success. The good news, if it was good, was that the injuries that they were accumulating, piling up, happened earlier in the year. Now guys are getting healthy. They're coming back. Ed Oliver coming back from the hamstring. We saw what happened last week when you had Taylor Rapp back from the concussion, when you had Taron Johnson back from the forearm injury, and the two of them having big impact on that win against the Jets. Rapp, some multiple touchdown-saving plays, and Johnson, of course, making the interception that all but sealed the outcome. So look at those types of plays, and you think about what those players meant to this team or what their absence meant in the back-to-back losses. So you get them back, again, getting Oliver back, now James Cook back, and I think with Ray Davis, and we'll see, he's questionable now with an ankle injury, but to see Cook back in the lineup and to see how well this team is running the football, which is reflective of the offensive line, how well it is blocking for the run, the trust that the Bills have in pounding the football on the ground, and I think they're going to want to continue to do that the rest of the way because the balance is a good thing for Josh Allen, for the offense as a whole.
Let's take a closer look now at this matchup because the Bills are coming off what hasn't been their cleanest stretch of football. Even in the win against the Jets, some sloppy play with the penalties especially. That's what comes to mind. But then this game is also very different in the sense that they're out of the primetime spotlight, not a game against a big-time AFC contender like these past three games. They're playing against the Titans who are at home, a Titans team that is very good on defense. Granted, they've gone up against some backup quarterbacks in recent weeks. And on offense, a team that runs the ball well, but overall struggles as an offense to move the ball down the field, 31st as a team in turnover margin. When you kind of analyze this matchup, I think we both agree that the Bills are likely the favorites. What do they need to do in this game to make sure that the end result of the game kind of follows what everyone thinks pregame?
Yeah, let's start with cleaning things up. Let's start with how sloppy that Jets game was, and you would think that that's going to serve as a reminder that they need to play pretty close to perfect football game in and game out regardless of the opponent because they don't have that great room for error. And I think the sloppiness, the lack of discipline, especially the offensive line, you think of that Deion Dawkins penalty between quarters with the lights out at MetLife Stadium for unsportsmanlike conduct. I mean, that's a thing that you can't have, and I'm sure that conversation took place. False start, other things that happen on that O-line that you have to, again, avoid because they can be drive killers. So it starts there. And then, of course, the inexcusable Hail Mary touchdown that was given up just before halftime that really, when you had a 10-point cushion that suddenly disappeared right before the half against the Jets, those are the sort of things that the Bills have to remind themselves that they can't allow. So I would say, okay, now they look at a 1-4 Titans team and maybe think that, hey, this will be a game that you could sleepwalk through. No, they can't afford to do that. This is an AFC game, an important one, and you're right, out of the spotlight, but one they have to buckle down and do exactly what you should do. Will Levis, the quarterback for the Titans, is a turnover machine, okay? 7 interceptions, leading the league, 10 takeaways overall, or giveaways, overall, that put him at the top of the wrong category for any player, especially a quarterback. And now you have the Bills. Since the start of 2023, they are third in the NFL with 40 takeaways, and they're first in the league with 140 points off of those takeaways in that span. So that should tell you something about the opportunistic aspect of this team, and I would expect that they're going to take full advantage of that against Will Levis.
Maybe a big opportunity for some of that complementary football that Sean McDermott always likes to preach about, forcing turnovers and then the Bills offense capitalizing off those turnovers as they have this season. To play complementary football, it takes all three phases, and we're going to end on this one, and let's keep this one a little bit short, but the kicking game, Tyler Bass has obviously struggled this season to the point where the Bills added a kicker this week, Lucas Haversick, to the practice squad. I caught up actually with Tyler Bass yesterday, very professional, talking about how it's a business. He gets it. It's a results-driven league. The results haven't been there. But on the flip side, he also talked about how he's sort of seen himself be one of the better kickers in this league, and it just takes that confidence and knowledge that he can get back to that point. How worrisome, Vic, is this Bills kicking situation, and where do you sort of foresee it going?
I think it's very worrisome, and I think the Haversick signing says it all. This team needs to be ready to replace Tyler Bass. I thought it might happen actually this week, as bad as he has performed all year, and the missed extra point and field goal against the Jets. But he's getting at least one more opportunity to save his job. But it's also possible that the pressure has been turned up with the addition of a kicker on the practice squad that might very well work either to his favor or possibly to his disadvantage. I wonder about the confidence that you spoke with him about. Has it been shot beyond the point of no return? I don't know. So we'll see if the issues with him are fixable, and I think it'll be pretty telling what happens on Sunday.
The Bills back at home this Sunday against the Tennessee Titans, and I think much to the delight of everyone, it is a 1 o'clock kickoff. For Vic Carucci, I'm Jonathan Acosta, Channel 2 Sports.